And welcome to yet another episode of Power On Podcast Portable. Hello out there, I am Sushi B, and with me, as always, is the wonderful Murugaru553, Taylor. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Pretty good. I'm excited for today's episode, as I typically am, and it's always nice to chat with you, so I'm really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, it should be an interesting talk.
I hope so. I think this is a unique title that people... Nah, never mind. This is a unique title. We'll leave it at that.
The end. Goodbye, everybody.
See you next time. But yeah, we're going to be talking about a PSP game today. And the game we're discussing is LocoRoco.
Yeah, good old LocoRoco for the PSP.
Yeah, so this is a game that I think probably almost all PSP owners are probably at least aware of if they haven't played it. It's a pretty famous title. It's still currently available for the PSP in a nice set pack that you can get with another game called Patapon as well. And I'm presuming it did well enough to warrant the sequel because there is a second game as well. And yeah, I think it's a good game, and I'm wondering your thoughts on this actually. So how did you get started with LocoRoco, Taylor?
You started me on it. That's how it got started.
Right. I'd mentioned it to you, I think, a few times, and you were not really familiar with it, right? You were hesitant, sure.
And then you sent me the trailer for it or something.
Something like that. Maybe a trailer or maybe just a gameplay video, something like that.
And I was just kind of like, oh, that's okay.
Weird.
Well, I don't want to say weird. I mean, it's just kind of, you get those kind of, it is similar in the vein of kind of the like Katsumori Damashi.
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
Kind of idea, or that kind of cutesiness, or that kind of just catchy music.
Yeah.
So
kind of what a lot of people would presume as the kind of quirky Japanese title that generally doesn't get released outside of Japan kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
But lucky for us, it was, so.
But it's not like you need to know.
No,
Japanese
not really.
to really play the game.
No, you don't. But still, it's still nice that it was able to see a worldwide release.
Exactly. And this, what is it? Like, it came out in 2006? So.
Yeah, actually, I just checked on our good old buddies on Wikipedia there had mentioned that it actually came out in Europe first, apparently. It supposedly came out in June, and then July for Japan, and September for North America, all in 2006.
Huh. Interesting.
So I guess the PSP wouldn't have been very old by that point.
Yeah, it's pretty early on.
Yeah, this would have been a fairly early title. I mean, what, the PSP came out 2005? Something like that? I don't recall the exact date, but anyways, this
would
still be...
PSP until 2009, so...
Okay, well, this would be very early in the PSP's life cycle, regardless, so... yeah, early title, one that's, at least for me, kind of stood the test of time for the PSP.
I'd say, played it 6 years later, and I enjoyed it. That was fun.
That's good. Cool. I read a few kind of interesting details about this game, if you don't mind me just throwing them out there.
Totally.
I apologize, I'm probably going to butcher the guy's name. This is the director, Tsutomu Kuno? Kuono? K-O-U-N-O? Kuono?
Wait, say that again.
K-O-U-N-O?
K-U-O-N-O?
Sorry, K-O-U-N-O.
So, Kono?
Kono? Okay. Yeah, sorry. Anyways, this guy, I don't know what else he's worked on, but I just read a little bit about his idea for the game and concept, and he had this idea that he wanted to make a very simplified game that had very bright, colorful, and lush visuals. And I guess he had actually drawn the concept of this as he was kind of making the pitch for it on just a PDA. He had drawn this picture with this sort of tube shape and these little circular blobs with faces on them. And he made this pitch of an idea that he wanted to sell a game, maybe originally on the PS2 or something, but changed his opinion to the PSP because he felt that this type of game would just fit better as a portable, quick style game.
That's kind of interesting that he would pitch it for the PSP because...
That's the thing. I don't know if he did originally. That's the thing. I think he didn't, but maybe Sony had said, well, maybe this would be better suited.
Yeah, well, I could understand that, I guess, because it's a handheld, and handhelds are a lot more embraced in Japan, just 'cause
Sure.
of how people are always on the go somewhere. They're riding trains for hours on end or
Right.
something like that. So
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of Asia in general, right? There's a lot of people that are riding subways because subways are just so convenient and available to people that lots of people do play handheld devices, whether it is a cell phone, a PSP, a DS, a 3DS, a Vita, whatever. You do see a lot of people around all of Asia often playing different games. And one other quick thing that I also read was that he had helped compose some of the music for the game, or at least the concepts for the music. And he actually pitched it out to people that he knew in different musical fields, like reggae and rap and things like that. And he had them kind of fully compose the rest of the song, which I thought was actually really neat.
that's pretty. He definitely worked on it. He seemed to really like the idea he was working with there.
Yeah, well, and that's, I think is really cool. And the art style is wonderful for this game. This is another name I'm probably going to butcher. Keigo Tsuchi. I apologize to both of these men because I love your game. I apologize. Go check Wikipedia if you want to really see his name.
Next.
Next. Anyways, yeah, I feel bad for butchering anyone's name, but this art is very well put together. I think it suits the title really well, and it was the proper road for them to take, and not try to make this into something a bit more 3D or more stylized. It's just a very simple, straightforward art style that's just straight lines, simple straight lines, no detailed lines, things like that. It's just very plain, but it works really nicely.
Yeah, and if you can have the color schemes of the different zones and stuff adds a bit to the presentation.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's in some places it's very bright and colorful, and even in like the snow stages, they're very bright just because it's just an incredibly bright white. So if you're playing PSP at night, you're playing one of the snow stages, it's like,
yeah,
really, really bright, kind of.
Sure.
And then like in the kind of the spooky, I don't want to say Halloween-esque, but it kind of
is. I mean,
kind of has the vibe of it. It's just kind of the scary part of town stage.
The back alley that the most LocoRocos don't go down.
It's got it's like a very cool colors. Like you have that purple, but it's a really kind of subdued purple and a lot of black.
Right.
And
those kind of secondary colors that lots of games or comic books and things typically shy away from because they don't kind of jump off the page that much.
Right. But yeah, no, I like the art style. I think it's a very endearing art style. It's very charming. It's just kind of like slimes. Slimes, it kind of gives me that. It's very simplistic, but it just makes you all fuzzy just looking at it.
Yeah. But I think, as you said, when you first saw this, you were kind of apprehensive because I think as a gamer and as you get a bit older and stuff, when you see something like this, you just think, oh man, that's just for kids, or that can't be fun. It's just too simple. But this game really bucks the trend, though.
I'd say, yeah, like initially I think it's more of just in the mentality of, that would have been really kind of nice to have played when I was younger or something.
You're 4.
Yeah, or something, just because it's it'd been a bit more like, LocoRoco kind of thing. But
yeah,
being a little older, it's kind of like, it's not like I need bang bang gun, but it's just
yeah, but don't be fooled by that. I mean, there is not an incredibly deep game there, but it's an incredibly fun one.
Mm-hmm. Definitely something you could pick up and play kind of little bits of, and still, you could play like a stage here or 2 stages or something, and then be like, okay, cool, and then pick it up days later or something, and not really feel like you've regressed because you've taken days off or something from playing it.
Right. Yeah, there's no big major story here or nothing, so you'd never feel lost in that sense. You just have to get reacquainted with the controls, and that's it.
Amazing story. It has a plot twist in there that even other games kind of it dwarfs.
Well, we won't say that. Let's save that.
I am actually sticking to that. So, but yeah. I But no, yeah, you definitely like it. It's a very charming, innocent game with just that very simplistic controls. As kind of said there, you got your R bumper and your left bumper to tilt the world to make your LocoRoco puffballs roll one way or the other, and you press the O button real quick to, if you have a bunch of them kind of in this giant mass, you press it to break them down into smaller LocoRocos, or if you have a bunch of smaller ones, you can hold down the O button to kind of make them all one giant big mass.
And you will have to do this quite often in the game, because if you're looking for the secrets and stuff, sometimes you do need to break them apart so they can get small to fit into little spaces, or sometimes the game just does it to you where if you jump into a wind line or something, it automatically breaks them up instantly, and you have to maybe regroup them.
Or they get smashed, or they like hit like certain spikes kind of thing.
Spikes and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it's just jagged kind of masses that once they hit it, they kind of break apart, and it doesn't really do anything. Of course, there are some obnoxious black kind of spikes that are in the ground or on the ceiling, or they sometimes move. That those things are
basically, if it's got a sharp point in this game and not rounded, it's probably going to kill you.
it's
LocoRocos don't like pointy things.
Yeah, so definitely avoid the incredibly sharp, angry things.
But as you said, contrary to my first thoughts when I was going to play the game, and even I didn't even think about it at first, was as I was playing it, I was thinking I was the LocoRoco. But you're actually not the LocoRoco. You're actually the planet.
Right.
And you're trying to move the planet to move the LocoRocos, because basically they can't do anything. They can't move on their own.
They can kind of move on their own.
They kind of can, but
they are so filled with song. That
gelatinous goo that they can't even move because they have no bones. So.
They're just content kind of singing to one another, and
that's about it.
That's about it. the life and experiences of a LocoRoco.
That's kind of neat that you're the planet and moving them. I thought that was a nice little twist to the idea of the bit of story that you get. Mm-hmm. How about, so as we're talking about the story, why don't we talk about some of the other characters that are also involved in this game? So we have the LocoRocos. Mm-hmm. We have, obviously, the planet. Who else we got there?
The Mui Muis.
Right, we get the Mui Muis.
The LocoRoco friends that you collect, because it differs from stage to stage, but yeah, you collect them and they add, when you get them, they sometimes will give you a piece of kind of stuff, something to do in like the little side games where you have your LocoRoco house where you just collect more pieces and listen to music or something from there. It's just kind of a time to just watch, just kind of make the LocoRoco do what you want in certain areas, in like a certain set area.
Right. Yeah, and the Moi Mois, they kind of reminded me of almost like gardeners, in a sense, because they're always kind of hiding off, but they're kind of protecting something from the, well, we'll get into the villains here in a second, but yeah, they're kind of like, they're really small. Their hair kind of looks like it's a root of some sort. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of thought them as the gardeners, the keepers that can do things that the LocoRocos don't do because they don't really move and they just sing. They're kind of the guys that are actually protecting the planet, sort of.
Okay, I can. I don't know if they're doing a good job of it, but I can.
Well, they don't really have any sort of skills to defend the planet per se, right? They just, they're just kind of maintaining everything that's around the world. But when somebody attacks them, they don't have any skills to fend them off.
Right.
And then we also got those, what are those bird things? The chupas. They're kind of these fat little, almost look like kiwi birds. Mm-hmm. They're a bluish and orange yellowy color with spots on them. And they don't really do a heck of a lot in the game, but they give LocoRoco the ability to be shot from their nose up into maybe a higher position, a higher part of the level or something. We've got those guys in there.
Right. Yeah, they're there just to kind of move you from one spot to another to find a secret area or something. Sure.
And do you remember we also have the those owl type creatures as well?
No.
Okay.
I don't really remember.
They were kind of facing towards you, and if you jumped and hit them, they were the ones that chewed you up and spit you out as a different shape of LocoRoco, maybe like a diamond shape, or sorry, not a diamond, but a triangle. Typically, they're kind of annoying, but they could maybe change you into a sort of big noodle shape, or another sort of weird rounded shape. I can't
Oblong.
really, yeah, sort of. And I said diamond shape. I actually meant more triangle type shape, and also a square.
I didn't like those things. That's
Yeah, they're kind of annoying.
they
There's a few parts where you need them, though. There are a few parts where you can only access a few secrets by touching one of those, and they change your shape to fit into particular spots. But they're pretty few and far between. They're not that big a part of the game for the most part.
right.
But yeah, those are just few. I'm sure there's a few others that I'm not recalling right now, but I want to get into the villains. And these are some bad dudes. So the villains here, if you would do the honors of naming them.
I only know the one, so I don't know the other names of the other villains because there's just
I'm thinking of the main guys that are.
They're the Moja Moja.
The Moja Moja.
Yeah.
These guys are kind of like these giant, big black blobs that almost look like they have dreadlocks, sort of.
That are they're like they kind of, if you were to make a cartoonish version of the Medusa heads from Castlevania.
Yeah, that too. That's a good, good point.
Very kind of tolerable thing to look at that kind of reminds you of the Medusa heads.
Yeah, and they've got these sort of protruding fang-type teeth and just two eyes, and that's basically their whole art style. They don't have a heck of a lot to do with them, and they just fly around and just try to make your life a living hell. And typically, they're not that hard to deal with. Generally, there's only a couple of parts, maybe if there's some spikes or if the environment is moving around, but generally they're not too hard to deal with.
But they eat LocoRocos.
Yes, they eat LocoRocos.
So,
they're like, moja, moja, and then you just suck down.
That's something that it's kind of interesting is that when you get close to something that's dangerous, maybe not the piranha thing, you know what I'm talking about? There's certain kind of other enemy that are like these piranha-looking things that hide in the ground and they'll pop up sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And not so much those, but the spikes and the Moja Moja, the LocoRocos will actually, like, warn you and be, like, they'll kind of get really apprehensive. They'll kind of, in their voice, you can hear it, like, kind of.
Yeah, they kind of whine a little bit.
Right, and they're like, get away from the spikes. And then if they see Moja Moja's near, they're like, Moja Moja, Moja Moja. And it's like, damn it, Moja Moja, stay away from me.
Hey, get out of here.
And, because if you, like, it's kind of weird because you can land on some of them and they won't eat you, but there's certain angles that the Moja Moja will actually come and eat one of the LocoRocos.
Right.
But you can kind of hit them like Mario would hit a block to kind of get rid of them. And if they do try to eat one and you hit them before a really short amount of time, you can get that LocoRoco back. So, and then the Moja Moja disappears.
I always found that trying to jump on them didn't seem to work very well. You typically got to hit them from underneath as they fly towards you.
Yeah, that's the best way. Like, I guess, because there's the Moja Moja, but then there's a bigger version.
Right.
And when you hit them, they fall to the ground, and you have to roll on top of them and bounce on them to kind of make them get smaller and then kind of kill them off.
Right. I like fighting those big ones because usually you can just destroy them.
Yeah,
they're so big and slow that you can just knock them out of the sky really easily. They're fun to fight. And they're really big. On the PSP screen, they take up quite a bit of the screen. So they're big targets, so they're not hard to miss.
Yeah, but they are the bad guys of the LocoRoco game.
And that's a pretty loose term.
Well, they're eating the fucking LocoRocos.
They do eat the LocoRocos, but when you compare these villains compared to a lot of other
that is some pretty dastardly shit there. I don't see other like villains that eat the protagonist or the protagonist's race. That's usually
apparently
not
you've missed the entire zombie wave that's hit the last 10 years.
Okay, that's zombies though. The zombies are silly.
These are kind of like zombies though in a way if they do eat the LocoRocos. Except they have a little bit more, well, do they have more brain power? I can't even really tell. Because they fly at you like Moja Moja.
Yeah,
and then,
zombies don't fucking fly. I don't see zombies flying.
Well, that's next year's model.
Moja Moja 1, zombies 0.
Well, that's next year's model. They'll fly next year. They're going to have rocket packs.
This was 2006. So they are 7 years behind the evolution of a Moja Moja.
Well, maybe. I'd like to see that fight. I'm pretty sure it'd be pretty gruesome.
Pretty sure it will never happen.
But the Moja Moja is sort of like a zombie in the sense that they will try to come close to the LocoRoco, but if you move just out of a specific range, they just kind of lose interest and fly away. They're just like, fuck it.
Very, very,
they don't really have that much effort to go and eat a LocoRoco most of the time.
very short attention span. They're like the goldfish memory span there. They're like, oh, I see, look, what am I doing?
Yeah. What was I doing again?
I'm just floating here.
Yeah, there's a butterfly.
So, yeah, so...
All right, well, I want to move on from the some of the characters there. We didn't mention that in the game, you said that you can collect more LocoRocos to build in size.
Right.
And each stage, you're only allowed to accumulate 20 LocoRocos. Mm-hmm. And to do this, you have to get these berries that grow off of these little vines. And some of them are secrets. Some of them are completely out in the open. But it's a fair challenge to find all of them to complete the full size of the LocoRoco for the stage. I mean, I know for me, I only did it once, generally because I was a bit lazy and maybe I lost the LocoRoco during the stage, or I just didn't feel like looking for them, whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely a decent amount of challenge to do that.
Yeah, it's something where you can get, if you're just kind of going through it at a pretty leisurely pace and just kind of, kind of look over here. You probably amass usually around 16, 17, 18 or so. But if you're like just kind of going through it, you get, about 10?
Yeah, maybe 10 to 15 would be the average. I mean, if you're taking damage and stuff, it's going to go down a lot faster. So.
Right. But yeah, and then you also can collect the muis because they're usually, I would say on average about 3 to 4.
I thought it was 3 per stage, but...
There's sometimes where there's 4.
Okay, I thought it was always 3, but okay.
I think there's a couple times where it's less than 3.
Just 2, maybe? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then you also collect those kind of floaty fruits. I want to say they're kind of like flies or something. Cause
they look like little fly things or something. There's the little pink ones, and then sometimes you get the orange ones.
Or white ones, and they have different point values to them.
Right.
And stuff. So, throughout the stages, you'll actually come across like little bushes or nuts. There'll be nuts on the stage and stuff. And if you kind of move the LocoRoco over the bush a couple times, some of the secret fruits will pop, or flies or whatever they are, pop up. Or if they eat the nuts, they'll get some usually.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's really it for this. Like, other than the stages themselves, you're not really, it's more exploration, kind of, because you're not going fast most of the time. You're going pretty slow. The LocoRoco is not meant for speed, from what I'm guessing. So you can definitely go at a very slow, a lot slower pace, and you can just kind of check things out and like, oh, okay, cool, secret and whatnot. So, and it's usually you're not really doing too horribly many, like, I guess, platforming. It's not really heavy emphasis.
Not really.
So I mean, there's some times where if you're trying to get to a secret, you'll have to maneuver the LocoRoco in such a way to get it onto certain platforms, but outside of that sort of situation, it's not really too heavy on that. You're just getting from point A to point B, tilting the world or tilting the planet to get LocoRoco's lazy button.
Basically, yeah. And if you're going to go for the secret stuff, it can be pretty agitating. I mean, there was a few where it could have taken me 5-10 minutes just to get on a small little platform, just because maybe the LocoRoco has to be moving at a specific speed so that it can hit the height of it or what have you. There's some of those little gelatin ball shapes where you can really fire the LocoRoco across to a farther distance. Mm-hmm. But there's a few times where you have to do that in succession, mm-hmm. and that can be really, really difficult.
It can be challenging if you're not used to kind of the angulation of the LocoRoco in junction with those little bouncy things.
Right. Yeah, it can be pretty tough. And I mean, we didn't mention that you cannot turn the world in a 360 motion or anything. You're probably looking at about, I don't know, maybe even just 90 degrees to just over that. It doesn't even quite go 180, really. I mean, it kind of does, but...
I don't even really think that. You tilt it, I would say, maybe like at a...
45 degrees maybe then?
I guess 90 overall. You tilt it maybe like 45 degrees one way and then 45 degrees the other way, it felt like. Right. Unless there's certain slopes or something that really kind of changes it from one direction or another.
Right.
So yeah.
So, and as you said, I mean, that's part of the reason why the speed of the game is very slow for most of the game.
Right, and then there's 5 worlds overall, and each world has 10 stages, and they're pretty carbon cut. Not
Yeah.
like they're not. Their themes are carbon cut, and so
Right.
you're kind of going through each one. And there's 5 different there's the yellow one, green one, red one, black one, pink one, and a blue one. So there's
Yeah.
6 different LocoRocos, and they each have their own different kind of twist to the theme of the stage.
Right.
Which is really nice, because how you mentioned earlier, like how you have the doing like reggae or a certain other kind of music. I think each LocoRoco kind of has its own personality or style of music.
Right.
So,
And it's nice that you can choose whichever LocoRoco you like. After you collect them, you're free to just, if you don't like that song for that particular LocoRoco or the look of it, you can just swap it out with one that you've already collected previous.
right, and because there's no real distinction between each one.
They're all just lazy blobs. So
they're all just lazy blobs.
they just have a different song.
Friends together.
Yeah, actually, I have it written down here. Just as you mentioned, all those LocoRocos. Can you remember some of the sort of style of theme for the music? Because this is just like gibberish words that are not real words at all in the game.
Pink one kind of made me think it was very French or like.
Yeah, me too.
Very house I don't want to say house. I don't know. It's very kind
very
of
European style, but definitely
style,
French-esque. Like you could just see it sitting there in its beret with its little cigarette. And yeah, definitely for the pink one. Here's how I broke it down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have the yellow LocoRoco would be like the main hero. Then you'd have the pink LocoRoco would be the female counterpart. Mm-hmm. The blue LocoRoco is kind of the happy friend. The red LocoRoco is the crazy friend. The black LocoRoco is the misunderstood friend. And the green LocoRoco is the lazy friend. Because they've all got this look about them as well, right? The characteristics of their face. I mean, the red one's obviously the crazy one. His eyes are all out of whack, and he's got the
really
squiggly line mouth. So
somebody dropped that LocoRoco when it was a noodle is loose in there.
Right. Yeah, and I even divided the music as well, and I don't know if you'll agree or not, or if you can remember. The yellow LocoRoco's music just sounds very kind of what you would expect in a J-pop type song, but obviously being a little more cutesy in this regard. Mm-hmm. You said the pink one sounded very French. I wrote that as well. The blue one sounded almost like an Italian soprano.
Yeah, it's something Italian.
Yeah, definitely Italian. The red one was like a Jamaican reggae type theme song. Mm-hmm. That's what I got out of it.
Well,
the black. Go ahead.
I guess the red one I kind of felt was I had this kind of Pacificer. I guess for some reason I was getting a very like a Hawaiian or
some like Pacific Islands like.
Yeah, like what? Samoa. Kind of?
Sure, Samoa, Tonga, like.
Yeah, I was getting that kind of vibe from them.
Okay.
And the black one, I was kind of getting the vibe for. Actually, I don't know what I was.
Okay, I had like 70s American funk.
70s American funk. Okay, I
like
actually
Kool
don't.
and the Gang or Earth, Wind and Fire. That's what I got out of it.
Yeah, I really couldn't place a good one on it. I couldn't really feel. I was like,
I like the black one a lot, though. I like the sound of it. The green one, it almost sounded like a J-rock mixed with a folk song, kind of. It was interesting.
Yeah, I didn't like the green one very much.
I mean, I didn't like it that much, but it was a very interesting blend of sounds. If I had to choose my favorite sounds for them, I'd probably choose the black one and then just the main guy. I like just the regular song.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because there's a certain points in the stage where you need to get a secret or something to have X amount of LocoRoco, and so you break them down. And so you say you need 10 LocoRoco. You break the big one down into 10 or how many you have, and they start to try to like come together into like this giant kind of LocoRoco pyramid sometimes, and then they'll sing their own kind of song.
Right.
And I really liked the yellow ones, the black ones, and the red ones I actually really liked too.
Okay.
I was a fan of those three.
Cool.
Those top three.
Nice. Well, I actually have something for you today,
Uh-oh.
and it is a new game that I've come
What?
up. You are completely unaware of this. I came up with this last night,
Okay, great, cool.
and it's not even a difficult thing. It's something that I just noticed was a theme that we'd already carried out through some of our previous episodes. And I was thinking of a title for this, and I couldn't think of what I wanted. And I kept thinking 6 degrees of separation, 6 degrees of separation, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. No, that's not going to work. And so I came up with the 10 degrees of comparison.
Oh, God.
Now, all this is I'm going to give you a chance to just give a score of 0 to 10 for whatever words or theme I come up with for that episode. Okay. So we did this with the Phantasy Star episode where we'd run down with the characters. We've done this before. This is all it is. Just now we have a title for it. Okay. So you ready for it?
As ready as I'll ever be.
All right. Well, it's not like it's you're going to get slaughtered or anything here.
So, put me on the spot, Sushi. I'm very nervous.
Oh, don't be nervous. So on a score of 0 to 10, how do you feel about the yellow LocoRoco? So this means the music, the look of it, everything about it.
I would give the yellow LocoRoco a 9.
Nice. A 9? Okay. I would probably give it a 9 as well. Okay. How about the pink? Let's go to the pink LocoRoco.
Pink, I wasn't feeling that one so much. I'd say 6.
All right. I would give it probably about a 7. The blue LocoRoco.
I'd give that one a 7.
Okay, 7. I'll probably give him a little bit low. I'll probably give him a 6. The red LocoRoco.
8.
Oh, I'll go 7.
I like his craziness. He's crazy.
Crazy man. The black LocoRoco.
I'd say that's an 8 to 9, kind of in between there.
8.5? Sure.
Yeah.
I'll take half points. It's fine. I'd probably give him a 9. And the green LocoRoco.
Green. Nah, that one's. I don't like him at all. He is a 5.
That's exactly the score I would give. Just first thing popped in my mind. I don't hate him, but I don't like him. Mm-hmm. He fits well enough with the group, but he is also the last LocoRoco you get, so you're just kind of, you already have 5 others that you're already dealt with. He's just kind of the last, he's just tacked on.
Wheel.
It's kind of tacked on, so. Yeah, nice. So that was the quote-unquote game. It's not really a game, but.
Yeah, you totally.
Do you feel a little relieved now?
I was totally. Oh no, you totally misrepresented that towards our audience. I think they're owed an apology.
No. Just before we close out here, why don't we? Did you have any negative thoughts about the game?
Negative thoughts. LocoRocos move pretty slow. So if you're like a fan of something like Sonic or even Mario. I hope you aren't if you like things that are faster, you are not going to be too happy with this. You're going to be like, come on, hurry up, LocoRoco. Right. The controls are a little wonky with trying to jump sometimes. It can feel like why certain jumps deserve a higher bounce than others. It's a little hard to judge that sometimes. It's very simple, which is not really a knock. So if I guess if you're wanting something a little bit more of a challenge, it's not through platforming, it's through exploration. And outside of doing the stages, the other kind of extra stuff really isn't too, it's kind of meh. It's not really over the top. It's not really exciting. It's just kind of like, it's extra stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree pretty much with all you said there. In some points, you kind of feel disappointed the game is a little too easy, for sure. And it's a little repetitive as well. I mean, the stages, as you mentioned, are kind of recycled. They're given out to you in a different format, but the backdrop is the same. The background music is the same, except for your LocoRocos singing on top of it. And as you also said, there are some frustrating moments that, I don't know, for a game that it's hard to balance that, right? You want to make this game very relaxing and fun and calming, but there are a few times where you may lose your lid. Like they just
it's rage
and it's not even because it's really hard. It's just because you get right near the end of the part and you're just like, oh man, I just lost 3 or 4 LocoRocos. And another thing I really didn't like is that the LocoRocos, if you do lose them, if they get knocked off of you, they're run fast. Away. Well, they run away. They don't run anywhere towards you even. You would think that, I don't know, why did the developers make it so that A, they're so fast when they're damaged, and then B, that they would run so fast and far away from you, not even get even close to coming back towards you. So that's kind of frustrating.
that is true.
So,
But yeah, that's LocoRoco.
LocoRoco.
Check it
Good
out,
game.
guys. Yeah.
Definitely good game. If you've got a PSP and haven't tried it and have seen the box art or anything and seem apprehensive, just give it a shot. I mean, I think you can get it on the PSN. If you know a friend who's got it, give it a try. It's a really good game.
And it's got really catchy music. So, yeah.
And you can make up your own lyrics because you can't understand what they're saying.
Yeah. So, yeah. I guess that leads us into the Detective Gamer.
Yes, Detective Gamer.
So, the answer for the last Detective Gamer was Billy Cohen from Biohazard Zero or Resident Evil Zero.
Right, so he was a... What did we say? What were they? You've got them written down.
I do have them written down somewhere, but
okay.
He is the ex-convict.
Ex-con, right.
And he has to partner up with Rebecca Chambers.
Right.
And I totally don't remember what the other hint was.
I forgot.
I think it said like Konami or something.
Konami?
No, we didn't. That was for the other one.
No, that's... I hope you didn't say Konami. Yeah.
I hope I didn't.
Anyways. Yeah. Anyway, the answer was Billy Cohen.
Billy Cohen, yeah, that's all you need to know.
Congratulations if you were able to deduce that one.
But yeah, so this one, I don't know. How you feel? I'm thinking this one's pretty... I think it won't be too crazy.
No, I think this one's pretty easy, but I don't have a problem with that, so...
Must make them difficult.
Well, the first two were pretty tough, so it's okay to throw a couple of semi-easy ones out there. Why don't you have at it? Let's hear the clues.
All right. So yes, outside of the visual clue that we'll have on the YouTube video, the 3 audio clues are: takes place in New York City, main character is a cop, and Yoko Shimomura composed the soundtrack.
All right, there you have your 3 clues.
There's your 3 clues, and of course the email is bananastand, all one word, at fastmail.fm. So yeah.
Yeah. Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah. So it shouldn't be too. It should be good.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, that's it. Is there anything else you want to add there, Sushi?
Yeah, join us next time while you get to hear Taylor get grilled for another compelling game of 10 degrees of comparison.
Okay. So, all right. Okay, guys. Good luck with the Detective Gamer, and thanks for listening. Have a good day.
Let me just get it out of me. Get out!
Be gone!
Be gone! Be gone! It's my Krusty the Clown.